Michael, a rather mysterious character in Deltarune. Friend of Tenna, seeing over the TV world. Unseen, but able to interact with the world. Able to bring across a certain outcome. That name, Mike. Where does the name Mike come from? Mike is short for the Christian name Michael, which, interestingly enough, comes from the name of an angel. Michael, the Archangel, Prince, Defender of Israel, great commander of the army of the Lord, and one who regularly wrestles against the devil himself. Michael is one of two named angels in the Bible, the other being Gabriel. Interestingly, the behavior of Mike in the TV world seems to mirror the behavior of an angel. Always off screen, being able to see or hear whatever Tenna's saying, interacting with the world accordingly, but never speaking directly to Tenna himself. Even during the moment Mike leaves Tenna, after Tenna kidnapped the contestants, he doesn't speak to Tenna. Tenna's not on the phone, he just looks towards the screen as the lights turn off and he freaks out. Now, we do technically meet a Mike in Deltarune, 3 Mikes actually. However, it's clear these are merely TV world residents pretending to be Mike because they thought it was funny. This explains who was interacting with the world and setting up the game boards during Chapter 3. It was these three pretending to be Mike. But this just leaves one question. Is there a real Mike? And if not, where did the idea of Mike even come from in the first place? Well, let's consider the biblical character of Michael. And let's also consider some of the ways Motormouth Mike talks about himself. You can't tune me out, no siree, yes siree. I'm always on the air, in the air, all around you, even within you. That seems to be the behavior of a religious figure, like an angel, right? An immaterial being that can be all around someone, even within someone. Always there for him, never not. Always there, never not. And that sounds like a good spiritual being, one who will not forsaken you. Granted, Motormouth Mike, the fake Mike, did forsake Tenna after he kidnapped the Delta Warriors, whether that be by choice or if he turned to stone. Now, Motormouth Mike is a fake Mike, but if what he's saying about himself applies to the real Mike, we have some stuff to go on. Now, we do have to consider for the sake of argument that Mike is considered to be male and goes by he, him pronouns. Therefore, I don't think Mike is the player. Rather, I think every Mike is a player and not every player is a Mike. What do I mean by that? Well, I can guarantee you there's at least one Deltarune fan named Mike. Deltarune is a meta-narrative, and in order for that meta-narrative to work, I think there has to be multiple angels. The one that interacts with the world, the player, I think is the one in the prophecy. But of course, when we were given Deltarune, whoever gave us Deltarune reached out to multiple people to play it. So we each have our own timeline, and we're each the angel of the prophecy in the given timeline. So I think Mike might be something a little more specific than that. Let's consider the church, the ones hopeful in the good ending for Deltarune. The church doesn't meet on Sundays, like real-world churches. They meet on Saturdays. Saturdays? Yeah, if you pay attention, Deltarune runs Saturday services. This can be evidenced by Rudy saying he'll go to church tomorrow in Chapter 2, and the Eggman's hints for where the eggs are hidden, saying Saturday is when he leaves food to cool on the windowsill. How do we get the Chapter 4 egg? We go through a windowsill. There is one Christian denomination that meets on Saturdays, and these are the Seventh-day Adventists. The idea behind the Seventh-day Adventists was to put the days of church meeting specifically on the holy day of rest. This is a misconception by a lot of people, I think even by some Christians. Saturday is the holy day of rest. Sunday was the day chosen for church meetings because it was believed to be the day Jesus rose from the dead. Now, the Seventh-day Adventists have a few denominational differences from most Christian churches, and one of these notable differences is on the character of Archangel Michael. Seventh-day Adventists, taking the consideration that Michael is the only angel referred to as Archangel, They take this to mean that Michael is simply the pre incarnate form of Jesus Christ, and that Michael was just another one of Christ's names. Therefore, Seventh day Adventists often pray directly to Michael. Now, I'm not a Seventh day Adventist. I don't believe Michael is Jesus. I'm just bringing it up to understand the lore. So, with the Saturday Church being ones that hope in the good ending interpretation of the prophecy, and the TV world's emphasis on this name Mike, here's my thought about Mike. Mike is not a specific person. Rather, Mike is a name used to represent Tenna's faith in a good angel. The name Mike could end up being a name like Frisk, only given to the player in the event of the true good ending, but with Mike being more masculine, I don't entirely agree with that one. So although the person playing the game might not be named Mike, I think there's an idea here to consider. What if it is us? Well, these characters have been asking Mike to do stuff this whole time, so what if when we're doing the actions of Mike, we's actually Mike? Basically, I just assume Mike to be the idea of a good angel, a good player, who seeks the good ending and nothing else. And anyone, good guys, bad guys, guys somewhere in between, anyone could put their faith in this idea of Mike, or otherwise a good angel, so they can see an ending that brings hope. And this player's name could very well be Mike. People named Mike like Deltarune. Alternatively, it could just be a reference to that guy from the commercial for Big Shot Soda.